Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of Scott's Selections here for Thursday, August 20th. Before we get into today's play of the day, a quick recap of what happened yesterday. Unfortunately, it was the same story as the day prior, as I ended up giving out a loser with the Clippers -6. I had -108 on FanDuel. Similar to the day before, because I was stuck between three plays and I gave out the one play that lost. I was looking into Utah plus the 4.5. I had a sprinkle on the money line I mentioned on the other show, and Utah ended up winning. And I also liked the Celtics -4.5, and they ended up murdering, as Philadelphia's probably thrown in the towel, and they're most likely going to get swept or lose in 5. But Clippers, unfortunately, were trailing the entire game, came out extremely flat, and Kawhi ended up performing pretty well based on the stat line, but I thought he was kind of underwhelming for the first half. Paul George, though, was awful. No real ways around it. The Clippers made a couple of runs, cut it to 3 or 2, and then Dallas kept going on runs over and over again. Side note, that game was so brutal to watch. I'm not even talking about from a betting perspective. I'm okay with admitting that the play didn't work out. But in 48 minutes of basketball, how do you average 1.2 fouls per minute? That's exactly what happened between the Mavericks and Clippers yesterday. It was so painful to watch because there were whistles pretty much every 40 seconds. It was that painful. So, yeah, there were 1.2 fouls per minute in that game. And it was just a painful experience. So hopefully the NBA works on that in the future because there's no flow to any of these games, and it's kind of frustrating to watch. But for today's play of the day, we're going to be looking at one of the late games, and it's going to be between the Lakers and the Trailblazers. I tried to get this video out at some point in the early hours of the morning, as I normally do, but YouTube was having some issues with its uploading software. So for that reason, I just decided to wait it out and wait till it fixed itself, and it did. So that's for that reason we're doing the video now. A time recording of 10:52 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, the Lakers are currently -6 against the Trailblazers in this matchup. However, we're going to be looking at the first half here, and the play that is going to be on the Lakers' first half spread, which is -3.5 at -110. Now, a couple reasons why I like this number. First of all, even though LeBron did have a triple-double, and even though Anthony Davis had 28 points, I didn't really think both of them looked that good, if I'm being honest. Davis kind of vanished the entire second half. He was -20 in plus-minus. He was 8 for 24 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. Really wasn't great. LeBron, I know he had the triple-double. He had 23 points, 17 rebounds, 16 assists. I know the stat line was great. But could we just acknowledge the fact that Gary Trent and Melo were guarding LeBron? He refused to take it to the basket. I feel like you kind of have to bring that up. He just did whatever he could to not go for easy layups every possession. And I expect to see a more aggressive LeBron in Game 2. Now, the Lakers are definitely in a must-win territory situation, even though there is no home court, so it's not that big of a deal. Technically, if you want to make the argument, the Lakers still should find a way. Coming back from 2-0 is extremely difficult, especially if the Lakers plan on winning a championship. And even though the Lakers came out extremely flat in the first quarter, they did play really well in the second quarter onward. If you really break it down, Portland ended up outscoring the Lakers by 11, and the Lakers ended up having a 6-point lead anyway into the fourth quarter, despite shooting 20% from the floor on jump shots in Game 1. So Portland might have won, but I really thought the Lakers, the fact that they were able to hang around despite playing so terribly, is pretty telling based on the actual talent of both rosters. I think the Lakers, in must-win territory, should be able to get out to a fast start in the first half. If they don't, they might be screwed, if I'm being honest about their chances to win the series. I know that everyone loved the Lakers before the bubble. They've looked like a terrible team since the restart. But if the Lakers plan on winning this game, they definitely need to get out to a fast start. They cannot afford to go down double digits again in the first half at any point. They're going to need to be up by, I don't want to say a decent amount, but I'd say up by at least 5 or so in the first half to truly, set the tempo for the second half. Portland's offense didn't do much in Game 1. I'm still questioning that supporting cast. Lillard, of course, is great. McCollum's really good. Nurkic had a good game as well. But Melo is 3 for 11. Hazonia's still playing 12 minutes a game. I think he's the worst player in the entire league. Whiteside had 5 blocks. He was great in 26 minutes. He had 5 fouls, so I'm looking for the Lakers to potentially get him into foul trouble early on. Trent didn't do anything either. So if you really want to break it down, Portland only shot 39% from the floor. The Lakers' defense actually performed really well in that game. The only difference is that the Lakers shot 5 for 32 from 3. And I know that Caldwell Pope and Danny Green have been very, very underwhelming lately. But 5 of 23, that's insane. I think that there will be some movement to the mean there, and I think the Lakers should shoot better from the three-point line en route to a nice first-half cover. I expect them to be up by 5 or 6 at the half, and I think 3.5 is a little bit too low for a team that should be in must-win territory of moving forward. So the play today, once again, is going to be on the Los Angeles Lakers first half -3.5, and that's available at -110 on FoxBet. That's been an installment of Scott Selections here for Thursday, August 20th. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.